Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about chemical bonding. First of all, let us start with the introduction. In nature, we come across many substances. These range from very hard solids such as rocks to very soft substance such as butter. There are liquids and gases too. If we carefully examine these substances, we shall know that substances rarely occur as free atoms in nature. On the other hand, they are composed of clusters of aggregates of atoms joined together. These clusters are called molecules since the tendency of atoms is to remain together. To fly apart, we can conclude that there must be some force that is holding the atoms together. This force which holds the atom together in a molecule is called a chemical bond. What is chemical bond? First of all, let me introduce chemical bond, the force of attraction between the atoms by which the atoms turns into a molecule or they remain together at their part. So that is called, what is called chemical bond. If anybody will ask you what is chemical bond, you have to just say when the two atoms are held together by a force. That force which holds the atom together in a molecule is called chemical bond. Chemical bond is a force by which two atoms are attracted or the two atoms are held together. That is called chemical bond. So remember the define of chemical bond, the force of attraction between the two atoms which holds together to them is called a chemical bond. What are the causes of chemical bond? If anybody will ask you what are the causes, why chemical bond? Let me introduce causes of chemical bond. The causes of chemical combination. During the development of atomic theory, various ideas were also entertained about the combinations of atoms that lead to chemical compound. In compounds, atoms are held together by force known as chemical bonds, in which electrons play a key role. It is interesting to note that one of the first real clues about the chemical bonding came from a group of elements that show little tendency to form chemical compounds at all. These are inert gas or noble gases. First of all, let me tell you about the chemical compound or a chemical bond. When the atomic theory was being developed, atomic theory means J.J. Thomson atomic theory, Rutherford atomic theory, Bohr's model of atomic theory, each and every atomic theory when they were being developed, that time the question was, do atoms exist? Then the answer was no. Then how the atom will exist? Either they will exist in the form of a molecule or they will exist in the form of a compound. Now question is how the molecule is formed, how the two atoms are held together. So that was a define of chemical bond. A force by which the two atoms are held together is known as chemical bond. Here electron plays a key role. That why these bonds are formed. These, if I talk about the inert gases, a group of elements that show very little tendency to form chemical compounds is noble gases. Why noble gases do not form compound? It was observed that the atoms of noble gases had little tendency to combine with one another or with the atoms of other elements because of the greater stability of their ns2 and p6 electronic configurations. In the case of other elements, atoms combine with each other or with atoms of other elements to acquire noble gases configuration. This tendency of the atoms to attain a maximum of 8 electrons in the valence shell is known as the octet rule or the rule of 8. Question is what? What do elements want? What do elements want? The question is elements wants their stability. How they gain their stability? It was observed that each and every element has a tendency to gain nearest inert gas configuration. Nearest inert gas configuration means ns2np6 configuration. Each and every element has a tendency to gain this inert gas configuration. So if these element wants to gain the inert gas configuration, how they will gain? Either they will combine with the atoms to acquire the noble gas configuration, and the tendency of the atoms to attain the maximum of 8 electrons in the valence shell means each and every atom has a tendency to attain the 8 electrons in the valence shell, which is also known as octet rule or rule of 8. But if I talk about the helium has only 2 electrons. This rule is called doublet rule. It is not an octet. Helium can maximum gain 2 electrons, so that's why it's known as doublet rule in the case of helium. However, this rule could not be universal because of the formation of compounds like phosphorus pentafluoride, sulfur hexafluoride, boron trichloride, etc., where the central atoms have more or less 8 electrons in the valence shell. Moreover, it has been found that even the noble gases combine to form compounds like xenium fluoride, xenium tetrafluoride, xenium oxyfluoride, xenium oxide, etc. Now question is not about to gain the inert gas configuration. Why the inert gases do the reaction? It was not 100% sure that each and every element try to attain the octet in their outermost shell or ns2np6 configuration. Question is about that if the atoms has octet in their outermost shell, then why do they react with the more electronegative elements? These are all the things we learn in the modern theory of chemical bonding. So let's discuss modern theory of chemical bonding. According to the modern theory of chemical bonding, atoms form bonds because it leads to decreased energy of the system. Modern theory of chemical bonding, atoms form bonds because it leads to decrease in energy of the system. For example, when two atoms of hydrogen approach each other, attractive and repulsive forces operate simultaneously. The attractive forces tend to bring two atoms close to each other and decrease the potential energy of the system, whereas the repulsive forces tend to push the atoms apart and increase the potential energy. It has been found that the magnitude of the attractive forces in the case of two hydrogen atoms is more than the repulsive forces, and therefore the potential energy decreases as the two atoms approach each other. Now question is what? If I talk about modern theory of chemical bonding, atoms form bonds because it leads to decreases the energy in the system. Means each and every elements form chemical bonding because it decreases in energy of the system. If we talk about the hydrogen H2 gas, it approach each other. You know very well hydrogen has one electron in their outermost shell, and both the electrons of hydrogen atom, they will give a repulsive forces because they both are electrons, right? Now question is about the attractive forces. The first atom's hydrogen nucleus where the protons and neutrons are situated, and the second atoms of hydrogen where the protons and neutrons are situated. They both will give an attractive force, and electron will give repulsive forces. But if we talk about the greater force, the attractive forces are greater than the repulsive forces, so this brings both the atoms close to each other and decrease the potential energy of the system. So what happens? The repulsive forces tend to push the atoms apart to increase the potential energy, and it has been found that the magnitude of the attractive forces in the case of two hydrogen atoms is more than the repulsive forces, and therefore the potential energy decreases as the two atoms approach each other. Now eventually a state is reached corresponding to a distance of 0.74 angstrom called bond length. Now if I talk about when this nuclear attraction force is greater than the electron repulsive forces, then they both combine to each other and they reach to a state to a bond length means when they both are combined at a distance that called bond length. The bond length is 0.74 angstrom. Angstrom is 10 to the power minus 10 meter, where the attractive forces balances the repulsive forces. At the stage, the potential energy of the system is minimum, and the hydrogen atoms are said to be bonded to form a stable molecule. In case the repulsive forces dominate over the attractive forces, as when two helium atoms approach to each other, the energy of the system increases and leads to instability. Consequently, a bond is not formed. See, first of all, if I talk about the hydrogen, you know very well. As I have told you, hydrogen has one valence electron in the outermost orbit. As the first electron you may have seen in the outermost orbit, what happens? In the outermost orbit, you will see that they are having one electrons, and these electrons gives repulsive forces, but the nuclear attraction forces attract the another hydrogen's electron towards itself, so it leads to form H2 molecule, and the bond length was 0.74 angstrom. The same thing I applied to the helium. And helium, both the electrons of the helium atoms were already stable, you know very well. In the s orbital, the maximum number of electrons which can accommodate is 2. In both the helium atoms, the 2 electrons were already filled. Now the question was of attraction forces. There is no attraction. Since there is no attraction, the helium molecule is not formed and there is no bond length. So we have seen in the case of helium, the repulsive forces dominate and there is no attractive forces. Now let's see the diagram of H2 molecule. You can see here in this diagram, as the energy increases, see, remember dear students, suddenly a compound can't be formed, suddenly a molecule can't be formed. There is an internuclear distance between the two atoms, and when the force of nuclear attraction hold each other, then only the bond is formed and a molecule is formed. So you can see here, as the energy increases, you may have seen that H2 molecule, the bond length, the distance between the hydrogen atom. So that in the case of hydrogen molecule, I talk about the energy increases. As the energy increases, the bond length is 0.74 angstrom. That is the internuclear distance, means first hydrogen nucleus to the another hydrogen nucleus. The distance between the two hydrogen nucleus is 0.74 angstrom, and then only the hydrogen molecule is formed. The variation of potential energy with the distance between the two hydrogen atoms. You can remember this graph. If anybody will ask you about the hydrogen atoms, you can just remember this graph, that how the internuclear distances and the energy increases in H2 bond formation. Now if I talk about the types of chemical bonds, how many types of chemical bonds are there? There are totally 6, but here it is mentioned 4. But remember dear students, the mainly 4 bonds are only there. But the rest 2 bonds like van der Waals bond and hydrogen bonds is not mentioned here, but we will discuss about that also. So let's discuss the types of chemical bonds. Achievement of 8 electrons in the outermost cell is brought about by rearrangement of electrons between the atoms undergoing a chemical chain. This rearrangement takes places mainly in 4 ways, giving rise to 4 types of chemical bond. Question is not about other things. Question is about the types of chemical bond. How the types of chemical bonds are formed. The types of chemical bonds are formed by the rearrangement of electrons between the 2 atoms. Means as a chemical change occur into the 2 atoms, the arrangement of electrons also change. So the rearrangement of electrons between the 2 atoms undergoing a chemical change, this rearrangement takes place mainly in the 4 ways, giving rise to the 4 types of chemical bonds. The first type is electrovalent or ionic bond, generally known as ionic bond, but I will tell you why it's called electrovalent bond. Second is covalent bond. We have mainly heard about in the previous classes about the covalent bond. If I talk about the coordinate or covalent bond, coordinate covalent bond, and the last one is metallic bond. All these 4 types of bonds are called strong bonds. Remember dear student, generally the chemical bonds are divided into 2 parts, strong bonds and weak bonds. Strong bonds, these 4 types of bonds are strong bonds: electrovalent or ionic bond, covalent bond, coordinate or coordinate covalent bond or metallic bond. These four types or bonds are called strong bonds. There are, however, attractive interaction between the atoms which are comparatively weaker than the bonds mentioned above. These weaker interactions are called weak bonds. In these bonds, the bonding atoms do not lose their identity. These weaker bonds are of two types which we study later on. These are, can you tell me what are the two bonds? They are van der Waals bonds and hydrogen bonds. They are called weak bonds. So we'll study these two bonds later on. Let us discuss about the types of chemical bonding. So as already I have told you that hydrogen bond and van der Waals interaction, these two are the weak bond, and let us discuss about the chemical strong bonds, starting with the ionic or electrovalent bond. If anybody will ask you, what is ionic or electrovalent bond? An ionic bond is formed between the two atoms by the transfer of one or more valence electrons from one atom to the other. Ionic bonding occurs most easily when the elements with the low ionization energies, like metal, they react with the elements with the high electronegativity and very negative electron affinities, like non-metal. Many metals lose electrons easily and many non-metals gain electron readily. The elements which have a tendency to lose one or more electrons are called electropositive elements. Alkali and alkaline earth metals are the example of electropositive elements. Those which have a tendency to gain one or more electrons are called electronegative elements, like halogens, oxygen, nitrogen are the examples of these type of electronegative elements. First of all, an ionic bond is formed because of the transfer of the charge. Transfer of the charge means by transferring of electrons or gaining of electrons. If anybody will ask you, what is ionic bond? You can say a force of attraction between the transfer and gaining of electrons causes ionic bond. So here, as you can see on the screen, an ionic bond is formed between the two atoms by transfer or one or more valence electron from one to another. This ionic bonding occurs most easily when the elements having the low ionization energy. Low ionization energy means the IP, ionization potential, means the elements which have a tendency to lose electrons, that are called metals, and the elements which has an affinity. Affinity means having a tendency to gain electrons, they are non-metals. When these metals lose their electrons easily and the non-metals gain their electrons readily, an ionic bond forms between these electropositive elements and electronegative elements. One of the combining atoms have excess of electrons than the stable number, that is 2 or 8 in its valence shell, while the other atom is short of electrons and hence need of electrons to complete its octet. When the atoms of electropositive and electronegative elements, atoms are converted to cations by loss of electrons and converted to anion by gaining of electrons, means negative charge by the gain of electrons. First of all, remember, dear student, each and every element has a tendency to donate the electrons, like all the electropositive elements, means they are having extra electrons. So what they will do of the extra electrons? They'll donate, they will lose their extra electrons. And the tendency of gaining electrons means affinity of the electrons. And elements which is having less than 8 electrons in their outermost shell, so they will gain the electrons, and which are having more than 8 electrons, they will lose their electrons. And by gaining or losing, they form a bond called ionic bond or electrovalent bond. If I talk about one of the combining atoms has excess of electrons than the stable number of 2 or 8 in its valence shell, while other atom is short of electrons and hence need electrons to complete its octet. One atom of electropositive and electronegative elements combined, one or more electrons are transferred from former to latter. The electropositive atoms are converted to cations, positively charged ions, by the loss of electrons, and the electronegative atoms are converted to anions, means negatively charged ions, by gaining of electrons. cations and anions so formed possess stable electronic configuration, usually that of the nearest noble gas electronic configuration. The positively charged ions are held together by electrostatic force of attraction. Because of the electrostatic force or electrostatic nature of binding force, the bond is known as electrovalent bond. The relative number of the atoms in the ionic compound depend upon the number of electrons which are lost or gained. First of all, you must remember that how these elements form electropositive or electronegative. These elements form electropositive by losing the electrons and electronegative by gaining the electrons. Means as they get a cation or anion charge on it, then after gaining the nearest inert gas configuration, they have a force of attraction, that is electrostatic force of attraction. Because of this electrostatic force of attraction, they form an electrovalent bond. What do they form? They form an electrovalent bond, and this relative number of atoms in an ionic compound depends upon the number of electrons which are lost or gained. Now let us discuss about the examples of ionic compounds. What are the examples? Sodium chloride molecule. We all know the sodium chloride is an ionic compound. How this ionic compound has been formed? So sodium chloride molecule. In the formation of this molecule, sodium atom loses its one excess electron from its outermost shell, that is 281. In the last cell, it is having an electron which is taken by the chlorine atom. So chlorine was having 287 in the outermost cell. Thus sodium atom acquires the configuration of 28 and chlorine acquires the configuration of 288. This converts the sodium into sodium plus ion and chlorine atom into chloride ion. The sodium and chloride ions, the two ions thus formed, attract each other by the electrostatic force of attraction, which leads to the formation of an ionic bond between the sodium plus and chlorine minus ion. So sodium loses one electrons, gains sodium plus, means 28, that is neon configuration, and chlorine accepts one electron and gains chloride ion, that is 288 argon configurations. Sodium plus and chloride minus, they get bind together, they get a hold of force of attraction. Because of the electrostatic force of attraction, they become a compound called ionic compound. So sodium chloride, Na plus and Cl minus, is a crystal because of the electrostatic force of attraction. That's why it's also known as the electrovalent bond or ionic bond. So this was the first example. Let us discuss another example about the ionic compounds. Now if I talk about the second example, that's magnesium oxide molecule. In the formation of the molecule of magnesium, atom loses its two electrons from its outermost shell. That magnesium atomic number is 12. It has 282. The last cell has two electrons which are taken up by the oxygen atom. Oxygen has 2 and 6. In the outermost orbit it has 6 electrons. This converts magnesium into the magnesium 2 plus ion and oxygen into oxygen 2 minus ion. The ion thus formed attract each other and form magnesium oxide molecule. Means magnesium lose its 2 electron, it gives the formation of magnesium 2 plus, means from 282 it converts into 28, because each and every element has a tendency to attain octet in its outermost orbit except helium. So here you can see the oxygen gains 2 electron and it gives O2 minus, means 2 and 8. So Mg2 plus O2 minus give Mg2 plus O2 minus, means MgO crystal. So this is an example of ionic compound. Let's discuss the third example. If I talk about calcium fluoride. Calcium fluoride, CaF2 molecule. In the formation of this molecule, each calcium atom loses 2 electrons and is converted into calcium 2 plus ion. Each fluorine atom accepts 1 electron and is converted into fluoride minus ion and forms calcium fluoride molecule. Means calcium loses 2 electron, Ca minus 2 electron gives Ca2 plus, that is 288 electronic configuration, and 2 fluoride ions accept 2 electrons give 2F minus, means 2 and 8. Means in the outermost both the atoms get the inert gas configuration. Calcium 2 plus and 2 fluoride minus gives CaF2 crystal formation. So this was the ionic bond and electrovalent bond. In the next video session we will discuss about the next type of chemical bonding, that is covalent chemical bonding. That's all for today. Hope all of you have enjoyed this video, and if you have not understood any concept, then please drop your doubt into the comment box section, so I'll clear your doubts into the next video session. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Hope all of you have enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed, then like and subscribe the channel, share this video with your friends. That's all for today. Thank you very much.